All right, so you want to go to the home page on the Amazon Key Portal. Go here. I usually just type out some random letters, and then this over here will pop up. New property. And then this is where you're going to start filling everything out. Super self-explanatory. You'll do the zip code. I'll just put an address in here for now to show you guys. You'll validate the zip code. The reason why we validate the zip code is because we actually have approved areas where we can sell Amazon Key for Business. So if you ever are in an area that's not approved, it will actually show you once you put that zip code in. Hit validate address after. Sometimes it'll come up if it's new construction or something that there's an issue validating the address. If you know for sure that the address is correct, you can just hit skip validation. But then this is where you'll see everything pop up. These are all the fields that you'll have to fill out. Again, the first thing you fill out is the email. I would always fill that out first because you never know if they're in the system. So you'll fill out the email first. If it auto-populates, click that. If not, you'll continue on to fill out all of this information. Make sure that you're sending this IA to the person that needs to sign it. So then you'll go down, fill out all these different things, management company, number of buildings, number of units, everything that we need is going to be an asterisk on there for you. Once you're done, you'll hit create property. I don't want to create it and have it in the system, but you'll hit create property. Once you create the property, then you can go back and you can upload files. Anytime you're creating a new KFB order, we always ask that you get a site map. It's extremely helpful for the mapping end for the mapping team on the back end. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask us for one later. You're not always going to be able to get a map, but just please do your best to make sure you get one. If they don't have one on site, just take a minute to Google and see if you can find one. And if not, it's okay, but just do your best to get that on there. This is also where you're going to add business card as well. And it'll usually tell you, it'll make you ask which ones. It'll say business card or site map on there for you. Sometimes I'll just put the business card on top of the site map and just take one photo so it's all in there for them, but just make sure you're never like covering up anything that's on that map. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up a different address so that way I can show you guys how to send it. All right, so I'm just going to pull an address to show you guys how you do the rest of the process for a key for business order for the KFB. So once you have everything in there the correct way, let's say you have multiple access points on that property. You do have to name every single access point. So for instance, on this one, I know the first access point is going to be a gate. So I'm going to leave that address on there. I'm just going to hit add access point. I'm going to know it's the very main one, and I'm actually just going to put front gate. Save, and then boom. Now let's say you have a gate and then they go to a package room and you need to add a second device on that property. What you're going to do is go on here. You're going to go to the drop down again. If it is a different address, make sure you switch that address. 9 times out of 10, it'll be the same one if it's a package room. You'll go on here and you'll put package room. Save. Now let's say you're on a property that has, you know, multiple different buildings with different access points. This is also where you're going to add it. Let's say there is a property that has 2 access points on one building. Make sure this address is right, and you can put, once that address is right, you can put door 1, door 2, or you can do building A, door 1, building A, door 2. Just make sure it makes sense for the mapping team on the back end, and then also that they know that those also need to have devices installed when they're on property. It's a little bit different when you add access points in the KFB versus CAP. So just make sure when you guys are doing anything, if it's the same property, you want to add the access points on that main opportunity right here. Once all those things are added, you'll go to send IA. I can't send it because this one's already been installed, but it's exactly how you would do with the sending the 3P. It would pop up. You want to make sure that it's the correct email in there in red, and then the next page will be that gray part with the addresses. On the top of that part, so I'll show you, it's just like this, but with the IA. You'll hit confirm, next, and it'll look the exact same like I was saying. And then this is where you'll add if it's a portfolio. So let's say they have multiple properties that are getting key for business. This is where you would add their other properties on here. And that is only if one person is signing the IA. If different managers are signing the IA, just make sure you send it to them directly.